Exodus 19 verse 5 says, now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenants, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine. You can see that God wants to segregate people who serve him and people who do not serve him. Don't always put it to your mind. Always have it to your mind as a believer. The difference between you and the other is that you pray and you keep God always in your mind, and the other they don't pray, and God recognize you more better because it look like somebody who have created some kind of. Don't forget that we are a workmanship. We are something like a toy in the hands of the spirits, of the people in the spirits. Maybe you don't know that yet. They can toss with us the way they like. It is because God, we are carrying some kind of grace because we pray enough that they cannot just toy with us the way they like. Even most of us who are also Christian, who believe we are Christian, we pray, we can still be talked to somehow. Something can make us do something very bad, and after you finish doing it, people will say, what have you done? You'll be surprised. I've seen a man of God, not a man of God, but a person of God who, when I say a person or a man of God anyway, is a person who believes God, and he has been doing this prayer and all this kind of going to church and doing so a lot of things that actually shows that it's really good, although it's not yet appointed as a pastor or whatever. It was just of recent we heard that he was sleeping with somebody's fiance. A girl was about to marry. Now, what happened? This girl came to him and was crying that the fiance that is going to marry her, look at what he's doing. Look at what he's doing constantly, because this guy pray with him, do everything. And so suddenly this girl, some kind of temptation, whether it is the girl fault, I cannot tell, because I've come to realize that sometimes we cannot blame it on somebody, one person sometimes. And this girl fell asleep in this man's bed. And when this man came, he was waking her, and the girl just slept on the guy. And I don't know what happened. That's how the story get. And they did something very not unusual, but because it's not in the right way. And you see, and that stigmatized the guy. Everybody's talking about him. And unfortunately somebody saw them. So you see, and from that moment you can see that he has defied himself. Why am I saying he has defied? Maybe God have not driven him away, or maybe he can. But you see, anybody who sees him will not want to believe God like that. They'll say, oh, if this guy is doing like that, why will I believe God? You see, you might make somebody to sin against God. That's the problem about it. That's the problem about it. That's why most of the time they'll send those kind of people out of that area, go and start another life in somewhere else, because he has messed here up. So we have to be very careful. Even though we have this kind of authority being given to us, or God is blessing us, or we have got to some level whereby we start believing that we are blessed, and then we just miss it. So when you look at this area of the Bible, when you say that if you just keep my covenant, they shall be a peculiar people. That shows that a peculiar people is that those who don't pray is not my children, but you are mine. Those, if you have time for me, and don't forget, God created us to pray, to worship him. Apart from food we have to eat, we have to go to work and try to, and all this going to work, try to pay bill, it is a human being that have formed all this, they formulated it, that is now making it difficult. Because you see, anything that human being makes is difficult. Is sometimes it will come to a place where we can't fight it. That's because human being have made it.